All right, everybody, welcome back. Today, the next step in getting the truck ready for Rocky Mountain Race Week is putting the rear end in the thing. So I got 410 gears. Let me show you. I got limited slip differential, Yukon, and a 410 gear set. So 410 ring and pinion. Oh yeah. Gear set. I got new brake shoes for the rear. And we were going to put 410 gears in the limited slip in this thing. So, hey, we can't be slacking around for Rocky Mountain Race Week. I don't want to be the slowest guy there, which I very well might be. But with the nitrous kit is coming next, hopefully I can get some decent power out of this thing. And so limited slip, rear end coming up now. Here we are, 10 bolt GM 8.6. We got the drums off. Yes, 2005. This one has drums on it. And they work pretty good. It's got one spring that holds the whole thing together. Kind of weird. Anyway, we're going to get this cover off now, and we're going to get this G80 locker out of here. And 342 gear, which is crazy. We're going to a 410. From a G80 to a limited slip Duragrip Yukon. See that magnet? Man, the spider gear teeth are completely chewed up. This thing's seen its day. 5/16 bolt right here. Take the pin out. Oh, I dropped a whole thing in the gear oil. Perfect. Ah, but it came loose. Let's get this bolt out of here. Slide this pin out and hopefully get the axle clips to come out. I've never taken one of these G80s apart. Okay, so on this G80, what you do is you just take the pin out, and then this piece just slides back just a little bit, and then you can push the axle in and get the clip off the axle. See right there, it just slid out for that clip. So now I just get a magnet and pull the clip out. Clip came out. Okay, now what we do is pull the axles. All right, now that we slid the axles out, we're gonna take the carrier out. Shims, bearings. Ooh. Yeah, baby. All right, now that we got that carrier out of there, carrier on the ground, only thing we're saving from that is the shims, the original shims. Hopefully the original shims go back in and it's in the right spot. That's a long shot, but hopefully I get lucky, because setting these up, if that doesn't work, can be a bear. Next thing we're gonna do is take the pinion out. Pushes it right out. Crush sleeve. We're not reusing any of this. I do have to get the shim out from underneath this bearing though. Now it's time to make sure all my new stuff is right. All right, now that I know that all the parts fit, what I'm gonna do is take the new pinion and the old pinion. I'm gonna take that bearing off, take the shim off that's underneath the bearing, put it on the new pinion, and then press the new bearing on the pinion. All right, first off with the old bearing. You use this tool right here, put it underneath the bearing, press it off. And here we go. And just like that, you get your shim. Put this here. Gonna find a piece of pipe. Like that right there. Fits the inside of the bearing right there perfectly. Actually, that side fits better. We're gonna push on this side. But that's where you want it, in the center of the bearing. Shim. And hopefully this doesn't have to come off 20 times. Small piece of aluminum and stick it up here. hopefully that doesn't have to come off again. All right, after we got the new bearing pressed on there with the new shim, we're gonna take these bearings, these two here, and we're gonna press them on the new case over there. All right, so back at the press, we're gonna press these on. All right, after you got your pipe and everything set up on there, I'm gonna take this back in here like this, and I'm going to press this one. It's all the way down, a little extra. Beautiful. Flip this over. A little bit extra. And just like that, we got new bearings on the limited slip, baby. All right, now that we got the bearings pressed on there, now we're gonna put the ring gear on there. I'm gonna bolt this ring gear on to this, and then shoot, we're going to be reassembling. All right, well, I forgot to press play, but I just tightened the gear on there. It was reverse threads, all the bolts, put red Loctite on them, got the gear onto the limited slip. Next thing we're going to do is knock these races out of here and put the new races in, and after I knock these out, I'm going to clean this whole thing real good, then put the new races in and put the new pinion in and put everything together and do some marks on it to see what the pattern looks like. There's one. All right, look at that, nice and clean, sprayed out. We're gonna get the new races for the pinion put in. The inside race, I put in with the old race. Okay, now we got to put the pinion in. Just barely some preload on the bearings, not a lot. Now we're going to put this carrier back in. Original shimmage. Going back in. Oh, oh yeah, come on. All right, little tappage. Wouldn't it be something? This went together and just fit perfect. The chances of that are happening are slim to none. What is our backlash right here? We got 10 miles of backlash. There ain't no way that's working. Woo! Let me go get the backlash gauge. All right, this ring calls for like 6 to 10, but better 8 to 10. So we're gonna be looking for 8 to 10 here. We're going to be so close. Six and a half. It's like on the minimum that they wanted on. Okay, I can get 7 out of it. I can get 7 out of it. I guess we need to do a pattern on this thing and figure out where it's at. 7 thousandths backlash. All right, well you can see on this thing, it's got a half moon. It's got a flat spot down in the bottom and a round on the top, and it just means that the pinion is too deep. So I got to take some shim out from underneath that gear and push the pinion back just a little bit. May even start with like 5 thousandths and see where we end up. All right, so here we are, 5 thousandths less on the shim behind the pinion. We're at 9 thousandths backlash now, and I still got that line in the bottom. But I exploded the pinion bearing, taking it apart, and had to get another one. Here's the drive side. It doesn't look too bad. It's still too deep. But if I go back with that shim anymore, then I'm gonna have to change the shims on the carrier. I'm at 9 thousandths backlash, and you know what? This is my truck, and I'm just gonna go with it and see how it does, because I'm not gonna chance ruining another bearing when I can't get another one. So this is already the second pinion bearing. This is going like it's going. All right, so now I got the pattern. Now that I got the pattern where it is gonna be, because I ain't changing it again, I'm gonna take this pinion out and put the crush sleeve in and the seal in, and put the pinion together for the final time. Crush sleeve. I think I'm crushing it with the impact. Let's go. Oh, we got exactly no play. Oh. Okay, so we got to go just a tiny bit more. Oh boy. Alright, we got a nice preload on the bearing. Alright, boys. Now let's put this carrier back in. You beat on those too hard and they'll crack because they're cast. All right, so I lied. I redid it a bunch of times. So I had the pinion bearing was not pressed on all the way. So I don't know how the heck I did that, but I took it back out to re-shim it, and the pinion bearing wasn't pressed on all the way. So I pressed it on all the way, put everything back together, and then here's my drive side pattern. Okay, it is a little bit deep still, I think, but you know what? I just can't do it again. That is acceptable to me. I mean, that's not perfect, but it's not horrible. And coast side pattern's got a more of a line in the bottom. The pinion's still too deep, but it's going to be acceptable to me. I don't think it's too horrible. Not perfect, but it could be worse. We're going to roll with that. All right, slid them axles back in, and now I'm putting the C-clip back in to hold the axle in. I had to take the pin out of the middle to get these back in, just like a normal one. So we're going to put this like this. Put it in there like that. Push in on this. Oh, those are harder to get in there. Blink. All right. Now pin back in. Maybe. Push the axles out. There we go, there we go. Axles were in the way. No. There it went. Okay. Oh my God, we're about to be driving with 410 gears, baby. Now I can't use four-wheel drive though, is the only thing that sucks. I gotta get 410 gears for the front, which will happen. But hey, pattern doesn't look awesome, but you know what? I've been here all day already, so I'm done. We're putting this baby together. All right, well, it took me all day, but here we are. It's done. 410 gears, baby. Let's go. Not the best pattern in the world, not what I wanted exactly, but it's not too bad, and I'm not going to spend another 4 hours here trying to get it perfect. So if it wasn't my truck, I would. Since it's my truck, we're going to go with it and see how it rolls. So we got a painted cover under here. It's all back together. New brake shoes, filled up with fluid, and I welded my exhaust back out the side. That sucker was underneath the truck and it was bad, so I welded it out the side just with some spare crap I had. And so here we go. We're going to see how it sounds, and we're going to see how it drives. Alright, sounds way better with it not under the truck. Alright, that's going to do it. 410 gears. Now we got to go drive it. Alright, so here we are driving home. So far, it seems to be fine. It's running about 500 RPMs higher than it does everywhere else. Now when I'm doing 60, it's at 2000 RPM, when before it was like 1500. So that seems good. The ABS and everything's mad because it is at the wrong gear ratio and it hasn't been tuned in yet. So we still have to tune that in. But other than that, it seems like it's doing good. I don't hear any noise from the rear end. So hopefully that'll stay good. And I'll show you 0 to 60 here. But it's gear braking, so I'm being real easy on it, so it's just going to be a slow speed up. So the speedometer is way off. If it says 75, then I'm doing 60. So there we go. That was lockup. And it's at 2000 RPM at 60 mile an hour. So yeah, I can't wait to rip on it, but I got to let it break in first. So we'll wait to do that and until it gets tuned the proper way. All right, and here is some 0 to 60 launches. The first one's going to be with the original gear and no limited slip. The second one's going to be with a limited slip in the 410 gear. I'll try to put them side by side in the video for you. Here we go. Roll into it easier. Here we go. 1500. Still spun just a little bit, but not bad. All right, another 0 to 60 here. I can hit it. I got new tires in the rear, and I got 410 gear and the limited slip. So I can go to 2000 RPMs and just hold it there and launch. RPM launch is perfect, and the sun is going to make this difficult. Just now think 100 shot of nitrous on top of that. Hopefully somewhere in the 14-second range for Rocky Mountain Race Week, baby. That is exciting. Nothing's blown up yet either. It's all my banging and beating. So a little bit of noise in the rear end. I do have a little bit of noise. But hey, 40, 45, it whines a little bit, but you know what? I don't care. I'll put another gear in it when I'm done with Rocky Mountain Race Week, and I'll have the time and everything I need to shim it correctly and do the whole thing perfect. I learned a lot from doing this, and I know 10 steps I would take different to do it again. So I'm going to do it again, and I'm also going to put 410 in the front when I get done too, so it'll be 410 front and rear, and I can use the four-wheel drive. So anyway, end it off there. Thanks everybody for watching. And we'll be doing Rocky Mountain Race Week videos soon. See you on the next one.